Should you be honest all the time and trust everybody around you? If you consider that there is not a single human achievement that was done by an individual, so even the great sportsmen or people that conquer mountains, they always have been supported by teams. So we need relationships, we need people around us to thrive and to go by in life. And honesty and trust are your tools in crafting and maintaining those relationships. Being honest, so telling the truth, requires grit, determination, and guts. So the next time somebody asks you your opinion, speak your mind. Don't hold back. They ask for your opinion. Don't go and widely spread your opinion when it's not being requested. But when people do, you should give it. Because the worst thing you can do is tell them what they would like to hear. Because eventually, in another conversation with other people, you will speak your mind. And also, actually, what always happens is that the truth will find its way. And then you have broken trust not only with that initial person that asks your opinion, but also with other people around you that have been observing how you behave in that certain situation. So speak your mind, be honest, but still be respectful. I trust people more when they're always honest. And of course it can be issues, but I'd rather have people come to me and say there is an issue and we discuss and solve it instead of they keep it away from me or they lie about it, because then I have actually two issues with that person. The issue and the issue of the person not being honest. So even if it's awkward or if it feels uncomfortable, be honest, speak the truth. That brings me to the topic of trust. Should you trust everybody around you? Well, you can have two going in positions. Either you trust a person when you just met them, or you don't trust them. And the funny thing is, whichever strategy you choose, you will always be disappointed. People are people. But if you start with not trusting a person, your mind will find proof for your initial judgment and you will find proof. So what does it lead to? Not a great thing, is it? But if you decide to trust a person, your mind will also find proof points for you being right. Well, I go with a 2-strike-out principle. I trust people when I just met them. I want to believe in the good of people, and they can make a mistake and we discuss it and we solve it. But if there's a pattern of multiple mistakes, then of course I start losing trust in that person. But I hope that next time you meet somebody, you decide to lead with wanting to trust the person like you want to be trusted by other people when they met you for the very first time. Years back, when I had my own company, I was in Cairo for business, and the driver there invited me for dinner at his house. On the last day I was there, I discussed it with my team and I was curious to hear their opinions. Half of them told me straight out that it was a bad idea, I could be kidnapped and being put away for ransom, and the other half of my team went like, yeah, that's really nice of the driver and you should go. I went. So that night the driver picked me up. It was already dark, and got in his car and we left Cairo. We went off the highway into a very little village. The road stopped. It was actually kind of a dirt road. There was a bad lighting, and actually where we ended up was a super tiny house in the darkness, and we disembarked his car. So when I walked into his house, I had a bit of a negative thought, actually put there by the people that were not advocating for me to go. I thought, okay, this is gonna be terrible, what's gonna happen, it's dark, it's gloomy. But then we went through the front door and I saw his wife, 3 boys, living together, probably in the tiniest apartment I've ever seen, and they cooked me a fantastic meal. I think they must have saved a month's worth of salary to put it on the table. I had a great dinner. Actually, I didn't eat everything because I was so nervous, but the 3 boys were so intrigued by me coming from the Netherlands, and they asked me a ton of questions, and it was actually fun just to be in a different environment and to get their perspective. When we drove back to the airport, the driver told me that he wanted to expose his sons to foreigners because he wanted to give them a learning opportunity, and he saw fit in me putting them in front of me. He also told me that he wants to know that Egyptians are very hospitable people, and I would share the story when I got back. So I flew home, actually quite emotional, because I saw another testimony of the good of people, but I also felt that I could have put myself in a certain risk. So again, you decide if you want to trust people, yes or no. And of course you need to be streetwise. If somebody 2 a.m. in a certain city asks you for your wallet and your phone, well, you might want to give it up because it could be a dangerous situation. But if somebody asks you for dinner, it shouldn't be a bad thing, is it? So look after yourself, look after each other.